Hey man, isn't this where that guy does his Blues thing? I just watched the Rangers game and he's not here. I need to know what happened. I didn't see the first part of the game because it started at 6. Oh, it sucks. Okay, I know I wasn't here for the Rangers game for the wrap-up. Alright. Not that anyone seemed to notice, though, so I'm not feeling too much love. But anyway, alright, let's quickly go back over the Rangers game. We got a lot to talk about tonight, though, so let's make this one quick. In the Rangers game, first period was really dull. Lots of defensive game from both of these teams. I was kind of surprised the Blues didn't come out of the gate faster, given that the Rangers have just sucked recently. But, you know, it happens. So, alright, in the second period, we found out a couple of things. We found out Strachan can't fight. We found out Jansen still can, and we found out Koliakovo can score. So let's talk about Strachan. He got it handed to him. All right, enough there. Jansen demolished Foros, absolutely obliterated him. Koliakovo scored one, and he had 22 minutes in the Rangers game. That was a good night for him. All right, and then in the third period, a lot of more defense happens. Mason gives up a goal in the second period, actually, but Crombie comes up with one off of a rebound, and that's it. And that's it, 2-1. We win. Solid defensive play. Good game for Mason again. I mean, you can't say that enough. Well, you couldn't say that enough. But let's move on. All right, so let's talk about the Blue Jackets game. First period, power play, and a softie goes in past Mason. That really did kind of didn't forebode well for the future of this game, and it definitely set the tone, I think, as far as how we were going to play. So then, 10 minutes of that first period just shot. Blues didn't really seem to have much heart into it, much anything into it. Then the last 7 minutes, the Blues really came up big, and I think there was like a period where we had like 3 minutes of just constant pressure on them. Like we got a line in and out in that time. So we really did kind of pick it up after then. So the second period rolls around. And terrible start. We get a power play to start the period, and it was just absolutely awful. Most of our power plays tonight looked horrendous, and I can't believe that we have one of the better power plays in the league, because tonight I just didn't see it. But eventually, period goes on. Winchester scores a goal, 2-1, and then 25 seconds later, Columbus nets one in, and it's still a 2-goal game. And so much of tonight was like that. Crombie gets into a fight, absolutely destroys the guy. After that, Columbus scores another goal, and it's 4-1. Anytime the Blues seem to get any sort of spark of hope about this game, it's just the Jackets would respond by scoring a goal. And it really must have killed. All right, third period rolls around, and Steen gets a penalty-killing goal, and it was a nice one. Nice shot. I wish Steen would do that more often. I mean, I know he's a third liner, and we kind of picked him up almost for free given how Stempniak's played in Toronto. But it would really be nice if he would just kind of net a few more. And he shows flashes of brilliance. I wish he could consistently. The Blues just, I feel like, with the exception of maybe like a stretch of 3 minutes, the Blues really dominated the play in this period. And Oshie gets a goal. A guy feeds it to him from behind the net. He snipes it. Top corner. Steve Mason just can't get a glove on it. But we can't tie it up, and that's what happens. So lessons learned: you got to play 60 minutes in a game. You can't play the last 20, which is different than a couple of games ago where we played only the first 20. So we got to figure out how to put 60 minutes out there. All right. Well, for a while it was annoying, and then it was kind of bothersome. But now, David Perron on the fourth line is just getting ridiculous. It needs to change, and it needs to change now. I don't care if you have to change the coach to get this done. David Perron is the whole reason, and guys like David Perron are the whole reason that we spent so many years in the cellar, so that we could get them here and play them get them experience up here. So putting him on the fourth line defeats the whole purpose of why we absolutely were the worst team in the NHL for 3 years or 2 years or whatever. And the fact that he's not getting playing time is killing me inside, and I'm sure it's killing a lot of Blues fans because the guy can play. Sure, sometimes he makes questionable plays, sometimes he holds on to the puck a little too long, but there's no way he's going to learn not to do that unless you put him into the game. So why Andy Murray will not put him out there? I mean, I don't know. It happened at least like 3 times where Perron's playing around, dangling, getting around, passes a brilliant pass, and somebody like Jay McClement just shoots it right into the goalie. Right there in the goalie. And it's like, what do you expect? David Perron can do anything, and it's not going to help because he's got Jay McClement, who is a great penalty-killing specialist. And I'm not knocking McClement. He's great at his job. But not this scoring goals isn't really his job. And so when you have the guy who's leading this team in assists trying to set up a guy who can't score goals, or a guy like Cam Jansen who doesn't even need to be talked about as far as his offensive abilities, it's not going to work. And it's like pounding your head against a wall. Eventually, I don't know, maybe Andy Murray's going to get a headache from this and put Berglund on the fourth line or something. I don't know. I don't get this guy. Moving on, McKee being back in the lineup is great, and I also think if we're going to trade him, because let's face it, scratching a $4 million defenseman really isn't in our best interests. So if we're going to trade this guy, we need to kind of showcase him, and the only way to do that is to give him some playing time. You'd think Jay McKee wouldn't need to be showcased, but, I mean, with $4 million as a price tag, I don't know what we're going to do with Jay McKee. I know McKee wasn't happy about being scratched. I read that in Andy Strickland. So, yeah. So what we're going to do with him, I don't know. It's you can send him down and try to bring him back up, and then his contract's only like $2 million, but it'll probably be claimed off waivers if that's the case. You can try to trade him, but I just don't see how anybody's going to really bite. With a $4 million contract on a second-pairing defenseman at best. Okay, let's talk about a positive. Brad Winchester's really starting to impress me. The Rangers game and tonight's game, I think he's really been playing well, and he's starting to make a case for himself for the long-term plans of this franchise. And I know this is like an unexpected fit. It's really hard to figure out where these guys are all going to go because we have so much of this third-line talent that's on our team. I mean, you got Winchester, Crombeen, Steen, McClement, and, you know, it's really starting to get tough to see where these guys are going to fit in, especially next year when you want to try to maybe, I mean, I don't know what the Blues' plans are, but maybe they want to try to get Palusha up here or Eller. I mean, I don't know what the plans are, and I would think Eller would spend some time. One more thing I want to talk about before I get to a big thing is that Berglund seems to have been pretty absent the last couple of days. And I know he's a rookie, and so therefore he's going to be kind of streaky, and I'm not really advocating him being put on the fourth line or anything. But I think that Berglund needs to kind of be stimulated somehow to produce some offense. I don't really know if that means juggling the lines up a bit. I think they could use it. I definitely think that our lines are obviously suspect. But I don't know. Maybe put Berglund on a line with Boys. See if that gets Berglund doing something out there. But Berglund needs to step it up a little bit, especially considering we're trying to make it to the playoffs.